Hi, everybody. I'm going to do a bit of a demo today on LucidSpark. So I know that one of the group has actually looked at LucidChart before, and I was curious myself as to what the actual difference was. Um, Effectively speaking, LucidChart is really a process management tool that, as you can see here, is very formal, has a lot of clear structure to it, and lends itself very well to building out process flow, team structures, project management type activities, and is very effective at that. So Lucid, as the organization, develops a number of tools, one of which is LucidChart, which we're looking at here, and which was demoed really well a couple of weeks ago. And the other one is a LucidSpark. So I was curious as to what the differences were and what to use and in what scenario. So LucidSpark is kind of like the little brother of LucidChart. It feeds into it, but effectively it's a virtual whiteboard and is much less structured in terms of its I suppose its operation and in terms of what you'd actually use it for. So this is much more around people collaborating together, about trying to bring ideas in, and there's some interesting little features to help us do that. Sorry, just the pen there. So here's a fictional example I've put in of where you could actually use this LucidSpark tool. So, you know, in a virtual setting or in a hybrid setting, to use this. Sorry, it keeps asking me to log in. To use this as a virtual whiteboard. So in this scenario, I've put in new product development at Salesforce, where I work, ideation. So this is something that a lot of us would do regularly around bringing people together, I'm sure, and trying to get ideas out of them. So in this scenario, we have some ideas that are being put on the table, and you know, in different post-it notes. So there's some interesting features. You can have the colors based off of whoever's creating the post-it note, which I think is quite good because it allows you to track exactly what's done. You can also author, or you can show the author of each post-it note. So you can see my name is here now. I'm the only one collaborating on this document, so it's kind of difficult to actually see, or rather, it's not very illustrative of how you'd see this from other people, but you can see exactly the idea. What I've done here is I've fictionalized it and said there's a number of different market trends that affect software development at Salesforce. I'll tell you with the chicken nuggets piece in a second. There's war, there's computing power, there's increased stock values, inflation, and so on. So these could represent people's different contributions. And this tool is very similar to things like Miro. You know, you'd have a lot of the same functionalities here in terms of adding notes, shapes, sticky notes. I think, adding, there's a space in this to add emojis and GIFs and things like that, which I thought was quite interesting in the right scenario. There's icons, which I quite liked. So, I don't know if this is going to work now because it's asking me to log in. So I might switch to a different one. Give me a second here. This should go away now, I would hope. So I mean, here you can add in, images, GIFs, emojis. I thought the GIF thing was interesting. You can just drag and drop a GIF in here, leave it on the board, and you can move it around. It could be good to maybe use as an icebreaker in a certain section, or add a bit of color or a bit of fun to what you're doing. I like that element to it. I hadn't seen that before. The same then with emojis and icons. You can add emojis, I think, to any part of the board, to a particular piece. So that's all fine. You can use pens, and you can draw lines between two things if you wish. You can also add in the shapes as well to do this, if you wanted to do it more formally. And again, this is very similar to many other tools. One thing I did like in this, which actually lends itself to that kind of informal nature of less formal than LucidChart, is I like the timer. There's a timer here you can use, not available on the free trial, unfortunately, but I did use it on my company version, not a Lucid Spark, but a LucidChart. and it basically does exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to use a timer, countdown to keep everybody in line. If you're collaborating virtually, which I liked. Voting as well probably doesn't work either, but that was a good feature where actually you would be able to vote on the post-it. So everybody in the board, each collaborator is allowed to pick a vote. So you could vote for this. Multiple people could vote for this particular one. And at the end of the voting section, you can see exactly what people want, what they don't want, and you can limit the amount of votes people have. So you could give them 2 votes, you can give them 3 votes, maybe 100 votes, and then it can actually give them a lot of flexibility to vote for multiple things, which I quite liked. It does, of course, have all the normal features of like many of the other competitors. You know, you can build a presentation, add it directly to Google Slides. You can record a video. So the presentation piece here it's quite good. I like the way you do it. You can build your slide based off of just moving this box around the screen. So you could resize those post-it notes if you wish. There's a slide there. You can connect it directly with Microsoft Teams to present straight into that, or send it to Google Slides. There is a transition you can build in as well. You can change the aspect ratio, which I thought was quite innovative. So I like that piece of it. But the piece that really caught my attention, which I think is really interesting, is actually the AI piece, which is being built into this. So I tested it out now, but we can show you an example. So a bit like ChatGPT, you can ask it questions and ask it to generate, post-it notes for you, really. So in this scenario, I asked for a list of a number of market trends affecting Salesforce product development. And when you generate it, what comes back is really interesting. It actually gives you post-it notes that you can then use and manipulate into this whiteboard of suggestions to answer your question. So, and they're all, like you'd expect, quite accurate. AI, machine-led learning, security concerns, low code, no code. And much of this was actually stuff I just come up with myself and put down here anyway. So it is quite accurate. And now you can move these post-its around. You can change their color. You can do everything else to these that you can do with the normal post-its here. In this tool, I like a piece to this called containers. I'm trying to find it now, which is organization. I don't know. Containers, yeah. So you can just build a box around a particular piece, and then you can start to group them, add a heading. So, market trends. And I think that was a really good way of it's quite good. I think on Miro it's not as easy to do that from memory. You have to build it out, and then you have to add in a background and change it and all that sort of stuff. So that was much easier. The other thing this does as well is actually, if I take that out, take this container out, it actually does it for you. So if you have a list of, similar or disparate post-it notes, you can actually select them all. Hence why I wrote chicken nuggets here, misspelled actually, chicken nuggets and fish fingers, to see will it actually group them into other types of more, pieces like inflation and war in the Middle East. Like, does this actually work? So if you go to sort ideas, it's working now with the AI to sort the ideas. And as you can see, chicken nuggets and fish fingers have been put into the food category. Data management, user experience, social media, economy, and artificial intelligence. So I think, sometimes AI can be a bit of a gimmick. Maybe not a gimmick, but, you struggle to really see beyond the kind of the interesting factor as to where you can practically use this. And I think in this scenario, from my own experience, oftentimes when you do exercises like this, it can be difficult to start off, and prompt people as to what to do. And this actually will give you some ideas. And in fact, actually, you can go one step further and ask it to generate even more ideas. So you've got your first set of ideas, and it remembers the original prompt, and it's going to give you more ideas. So again, you can just keep going with this way of working, and have AI help increase the collaborative element of what you're doing, and maybe help people who are stuck and give them a bit of prompt to actually get going. And you can summarize things with the AI feature as well. I didn't find this as useful though, because when it's in this type of format, there's not much to summarize. But if you had a large body of text, I'm sure you could do something like that. So I think the idea here was to try and look at LucidSpark, see how it differs from Lucidchart, and also give you some ideas on how you can potentially use the AI features, which I thought were really quite interesting. I hadn't seen that before. In terms of pricing, this is the free version. It's obviously for free. And as you go up the tiers, then enterprise, as always, is contact us for a bespoke price. But for £9, or I think this is a month, is it? I think I could see this adding a lot of value to an exercise like this. There's some extra pieces here about Microsoft 365 integration, advanced controls, and revision history. So again, might not be needed for everybody, but even the middle tier comes with additional storage and things like that. So I don't think this is the worst price in the world for what you could get, and I think there's a lot of features in here similar to other products that are out there, yes, but I did like some of the more innovative pieces like the voting, the timer. I love the AI piece. I thought that was really useful. Yeah, so that's kind of been my summary of LucidSpark. I hope you found it interesting, and yeah, thanks a lot.